Hello, fans of DX Engineering. It's Tuesday afternoon. It's time for Tuesdays with DX Engineering. And today we have on a fan favorite, Michael, KI8R, is on with us from the DX Engineering Sales and Support Team. Hello, Michael.
Tim, how are you doing?
Good, good. Lots of snow up here today. But hey, winter is around the corner. But let's talk satellites.
Okay.
I mean, this is something that everybody can do, whether you're a technician, a general, an extra, you can get on these satellites. Tell me, what is the, and I know you have some really good videos on the DX Engineering YouTube channel, but about satellites. But Michael, what is the easiest satellite to get on and make QSOs with?
Oh, the easiest one by far is the ISS. Mainly because most of the CubeSats are 100 milliwatts or less. The ISS has a 5-watt transmitter and probably a better antenna hanging off the bottom of the station. So it's certainly a lot easier to get into.
Let's talk about the International Space Station. Let's talk about that. And you talked about the transmitter being 5 watts, but how many people can get on there? How would I go about it if I wanted to work the ISS as a satellite? How would I go about it?
Well, the easiest way is either with a dual band handheld that can do full duplex. Unfortunately, there aren't too many of those anymore. But you can also use a dual band mobile, like ICOM 2730, a 5100. There's a number of Yaesu FTM 150R, etc. So there's a lot of different dual band mobiles that'll do full duplex. In one of my videos, I did one, actually 2 of my videos. I used my ICOM 2730 to do contacts on the ISS, and I think it was also SO50, just with a handheld Yagi out in the backyard, and also with the egg beater antennas from M Squared. So those work really. Both of those stations work really well, and I had a lot of fun doing it. The biggest thing with FM birds is that it's, just like being on a regular repeater, it's one QSO at a time. So, and you have, and depending on the time of day, things can get busy. So you get in, you make your QSO, you exchange your grid square and get out.
So let's talk about footprint. If I'm using the ISS and it's like an FM repeater,
mm-hmm.
I guess technically a satellite because it's moving. Let's talk about how long from when the ISS comes up to when it goes down. How long is a typical pass here in North America?
Typical pass is typically about 10 minutes, give or take a little bit. And again, that has to do with it depends on the elevation of the pass also. So if the ISS is coming up further west, the duration of that pass may be a lot low. It will be lower on the horizon, and it may be a little bit less of a pass for you. So it just depends.
And so let's also talk about footprint of where can I work? Can I work any DX, or if we're in North America, if we're in the US, are we just able to work US stations?
So typically you're going to work US stations, especially on FM birds. When you get to the linear satellites, that's when things get a little more interesting, because then you can start working some Europeans occasionally, or at least, the guys on the western edge of Europe. Guys in South America. I worked a guy in South America on a linear bird last week. So that was a lot of fun too.
So we're talking about, a pretty simple setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ICOM 2730 and the egg beater antenna.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the egg beater, because it's circularly polarized, we don't have to follow anything or tilt anything. We just get it up, 8-10 feet?
Yeah, I think the ones I had up were maybe 10 feet in the air, tops. And they worked really well. And the other thing too here, one thing that really will help, especially with the egg beaters, is if a preamp on 440 really makes a big difference. Again, that's because your UHF and you've got a, if you're if the satellite transmits on UHF and you transmit on 2 meters, that's a small capture area for that antenna. So a preamp really helps too.
So, and getting a preamp on an ICOM 2730, how does that work?
Well, you put the preamp at the antenna, and it's an RF pass type of a preamp. So, but it really does help improve the receive signal. And
of course, the preamp, that's going to affect the full duplex nature, right?
Well, you may need to put a filter on that preamp. You can do that with a simple duplexer that you would use like in a regular mobile situation, like a Comet or a Diamond.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your videos that you have up on the DX Engineering YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Kind of walk us through what we can expect. We go to the DX Engineering YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. We see that Michael Murphy, KI8R, has done these satellite videos. Tell us about what you cover in those videos.
Okay, for the first one I did is what I would call Satellite 101, which is basically a background of satellites, where they started, how things got off the ground. Senator Barry Goldwater, General Curtis LeMay was very instrumental in getting the first satellite off the ground as a piggyback type of a deal with another satellite. As a matter of fact, that was the first time a satellite had ever been piggybacked. But it kind of goes through how things got started, a lot of background, we touch on Doppler effect and how that works, a lot of different things, background about satellites. The second satellite we cover is the second satellite video is working portable with this handheld Yagi antenna. Again, very simple, very easy to do. And again, I use my ICOM 2730 and a battery and just a simple handheld Yagi antenna. That worked very, very well. The third video is with the egg beater antennas and how to set those up and get that working from inside your shack, and especially right now when it's cold. And the final video that I'm working on now and we'll have up hopefully in another week or two, is the going basically all in with Yagi antennas. And so I'm looking forward to completing that one.
So you really have it from A to Z, or will have it with this next video, mm-hmm. from the beginning to the end, and doing a really nice satellite setup. It's been a long time since I've really been on satellites. We actually had a summer STEM camp where we did satellite work with the high school kids. Tell us, how important it is from high school and college kids, the fascination of working through the satellites, Michael.
I think with a lot of kids today, it's especially we just recently helped a school get a satellite station put on the air, and talking with the gentleman who was very instrumental in getting that going. These kids are really excited, and just the idea of pointing a Yagi at a satellite, or a small handheld Yagi, or even the egg beaters, just having something that is 1,000 miles away, and you're working a sound, you're talking through this thing, and maybe it's only 100 miles away when it's going overhead, but still it just depends. But these kids are really fascinated by this.
So I remember as a kid working through the Oscar satellite, mm-hmm. And it was 2 meters up and 10 meters down, mm-hmm. as I recall, and made a couple of QSOs. That was kind of a fun thing. But are there still 2 meter up, 10 meter down satellites?
I don't believe so. I could be wrong about that, so I'm not going to say for certain, but I don't believe there's any left. I do remember when I was early in the hobby, back in the early 80s, making a QSO through one of the Russian satellites, 2 up, 10 down. And that was a lot of fun.
Right, right. So there's a lot of experimenting that is going on in different cubes, and I mean, there's a whole lot of satellite activity. We've had Grace on before, Kate LG, who's got a lot of satellite experience,
Mm-hmm.
and of course her father and grandfather are both satellite experts as well. So really a lot of background that you can have in satellites. I do want to go to the chat room here for a second, Michael, and just check over what's going on in there. Kyle's on with us, Kilo Charlie 9 India Mike Alpha, Bill, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike, and our friend Paul, November 6 Papa Sierra Echo. Great info from our friends at DX Engineering. And Bill, KAGIM, says, I bought an ICOM 2730B from DX Engineering just for this reason. Our friend Scotty, Whiskey Kilo 3 November, who's probably got a lot of snow up where he lives today here in Western Pennsylvania. And our friend Steve, November Alpha 5 Charlie. He says, I worked DXEC on AO10 back in the day. I got Spratly Island. That's a pretty good one. And Diane says she can't wait. I think they've got some satellite stuff coming up. Brady from Pittsburgh, I have not yet played around with satellites, but I love the videos so I can learn for when I do start working them. And Brady is Whiskey 3 Bravo Radio Lima. And Diane says the ISS SSTV contact is this week. And she's going to use the TYT-HT for that. And our friend from the United Kingdom, M0DXR, Mark, is on with us today, too. Mark is the chairman of WRTC 2026, which will be coming up next July. Michael, let's talk just for a minute here about power. You know, we hear about power, FT8 is supposed to be a low power mode, things like that. And then there's the power respect amongst satellite users. Why don't you talk a little bit about how much power it takes and how much is too much?
Well, definitely you wouldn't want to run 50 watts to get into a FM satellite. That would not be good. It's not good etiquette. It only takes just a little bit of power in a handheld Yagi to get into these birds. That's why guys with handhelds do so well. A 5-watt handheld is more than adequate to get into most of these birds today. If you're doing linear satellites, which is a totally different animal, you may need a little more power. There are times when I need to run a little more power, especially with the ICOM 9700 behind me, to get into some of those, especially if they're on the horizon and, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 miles away.
So would you say that the IC 9700 is kind of like the Cadillac satellite radio?
Oh, it's the Cadillac, everything, UHF and VHF radio.
And so full duplex. And what about the preamp that you talked about for 70 centimeters?
Yeah, again, the preamps, I know that we're working hard to get those in stock here, but we're working on some things from SBE and possibly another company as well.
Yeah, that is really, because feed line loss and all those things. And of course, noise is pretty low on 70 centimeters. So having a good preamp, I think you're right on the money there. Greg is on with us, Whiskey Bravo 2 Yankee Zulu Golf. And he says, I love working the satellites with my handheld. It's just a tad cold and snowy out there today. And our good friend Gunter, Delta Kilo 5 Oscar Norway Victor from Germany, on with us as well. Michael, thank you so much for your videos up on the DX Engineering channel on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com, punch in DX Engineering, and you'll see Michael's videos up there. He's got several up there already and another one coming in another week or two. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, Michael.
Well, thank you for making it happen.
And, if you want to talk to Michael at DX Engineering, you can call in or email us and we'll get your message to Michael and he'll respond. As always, we're here to help you have more fun with the best hobby in the world. Until next time, 73 from DX Engineering.
73.